Welcome back to Starting Out. I'm excited to host you once again. Samuel is the name, and I'm going to share with you who is speaking to you first. Well, I'll begin with the fancy titles I've accumulated over time, but then I'll have a whole video to tell you how that is different from who I actually am and who you actually are, and define yourself. So first of all, I am a coach at the Mentorship Class, an institution that uses the transformative power of mentoring to groom the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs. I'm also the head of operations and co-founder of an ambitious startup called Mkozi, mkozi.com. You can look them up and find them there, mkozi.com. It does small repeated tasks such as shopping, cleaning services, and dog care for the busy corporate class of Uganda. I am also I had been a student apprentice at the KSK Associates, which is a professional services firm. And then, well, let's go down to high school. High school was a really active time for me. So in high school, I was the senior chair of the environmental committee at the UGMUN, Model United Nations, which was held at the International School of Uganda. I was also the chairperson of the School Water and Sanitation Club. I was a debate trainer in the Senior Debate Club. I was the recipient of the Daudi Ocheng Award and the KSK Foundation Scholarship winner. I was also a debate trainer, yes, in the Senior Debate Club, but in the Junior Debate Club I was the vice chairperson, and then also the chairperson of the Young Readers Club. And I was a children's church minister for 6 years in my local church and 2 years at school. Phew! Okay, that was a very exhausting intro, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of pity anybody who will introduce me at a function in the future, because let me tell you, I'm just getting started. The biggest mistake is to think that those titles are who I am and they are the ones that define me. No, they were opportunities I was availed to serve. And well, we realized that I have long seen that people are so attached to titles. They become position fillers. I even consider it a syndrome. They fail to get over themselves because perhaps they've lost a certain title and it was part of their identity. I kind of attribute it to our former colonialism system, in which, let's say, the British and other colonial powers took over, built systems, and we just came in to fill the positions. But well, in the spirit of no excuses at all, I would like to say that we are making arenas available for people to serve, new ones and the old ones, in a way that is different, through mentorship and through entrepreneurship. So what is the true cost of being different, being an outlier? Well, actually most people ignore the fact that there is a financial cost. To be different, someone has to pay for it in cash. Somebody had to pay for my schooling, somebody had to pay for my medical bills, so that I would be able not to miss the opportunities to be different. You know, so much in this world is considered free internet, freedom of speech, lots of freedoms, free this, free that, but guess what? It's free, but somebody pays for it. So, in order to be different, someone paid for it. I am grateful to the people who paid for me to be able to take advantage of different opportunities and be different, to stand out really. But the ideal of financial freedom, one which I will talk about extensively in a video of its own, is something where you have to think about, will you be able to pay the true price of being different in the future? So first of all, to be different, someone has to pay for it in cash. I remember when I thought of environmental conservation, which is my biggest passion, I thought I would enter it through perhaps renewable energy or wildlife protection. But then I thought again, Who's going to pay for all this? Well, this guy. Well, at least the teams that I work with in future are going to pay for Greta Thunberg's called for action on environmental conservation. Second thing about being different is, the second cost of being different actually, is that you have to acknowledge that in order for you to be different, in order for you to win, in order for you to be great, it doesn't mean that others have to lose, that others have to fail, that others have to be stepped on along the way, ladies and gentlemen. In the course of being different, I've learned that, well, I watched a couple of videos by Lucy Temekwayo, the best speaker in Africa, and he once said that in Africa we have the problem of thinking that there are singular positions that can be filled for greatness. You know, the CEOs, the political offices, things like that. But well, I'd like to go back to my senior six, actually even before that, my first year in high school. I realized that the set of prefects that were there by then were outstanding in their own right. The head prefect was great, you know, he was a debater, a rugby player, you know, a lot of things, so many things that it was appealing to see that he was a great person. But the people in his year, the people who were on his prefectorial council were another thing altogether. There was one who was the best chess player, won national competitions. There were some debaters who flew out to Kenya, to Rwanda, East African competitions. Everybody came with a medal. Every single assembly did a certificate. It was kind of fun to see that we can win together. You can all struggle for amazingness, for greatness, to be different, but also be different and win together. People do not have to lose. I look again even at the United States of America. I realize that they have $4 trillion companies and about $135 billion companies. So it goes without saying that to be different, to be great, to be amazing, it doesn't mean that others have to lose. In fact, well, looking at the darker side of things, if a few people in an area were great, different, prosperous, well, guess what? Perhaps you'd have to watch out. Perhaps there would be an attempt on your life here and there. Just saying. On to number 3 of being different. A cost of being different. Well, you have to accept that you do not know. We all have to accept that there are things that we do not know. You have to accept to be led in order to lead. Because, well, many a time we think that we know it all, or in fact there are two extremes. There are some people who generally realize yes, they do not know it all, so they shudder and fall back into the rest, while others realize they know a bit more than the people around them, so perhaps they think they should be know-it-alls. Being different does not mean that you know it all. Being different means that you're willing to be led, to learn, to grow. The more teachable you are, the more flexible you can be. My biggest experience in this was that when I entered high school, I had no dream whatsoever of entering clubs, you know, debates and different sports. But well, I met a young man, a very passionate young man about clubs, and he told me, well, there's this and this opportunity, can we put our energy behind this and this? And while I was in this position, I had to accept, well, I don't know how clubs work in school, so I have to follow, and after that I can learn, grow and be better. It was also a very interesting experience while I was working at KSK Associates. They said it was a professional services firm. You know, there was a lot of auditing, there was a lot of human resource, a lot of things I never thought I would see myself in. But well, sometimes they would just come to me and say, hey, go and register this business. And well, you don't know how to do it, you just need to think through it. But then, by the principle of Douglas Kruger's book, is your thinking keeping you poor? You say yes, and you figure out the how later. And looking at the 7 habits of highly effective people, a book that we cover in the mentorship class, you have to think, begin with the end in mind, and be proactive. The first and second, be proactive and begin with the end in mind. You think, okay, I want a certificate of registration, a certificate of incorporation, what documentation do I need, which institution do I need to go to, and before you know it, you'll be there. So one of the costs of being different is you don't have to know it all, but you can start somewhere. Moving on to number 4, the one I bet everyone wanted me to say as number 1, but well, you're going to find this channel is a bit unconventional. Yes, number 4, there are going to be haters, there are going to be mockers, there's going to be a lot of resistance if you want to be different, because wow, and different in a good way. Well, you realize that where there is the idea of progress or people working heavily and energetically towards it, well, there will be a lot of resistance. There'll be people telling you give up, chill, relax, yeah, you can do it some other time. But well, the cost of being different is you kind of have to go through that, because it's even a natural law in physics that limiting friction, which is the highest level of friction, the highest amount of resistance, will be reached at just the point before the body is moved when an effort is applied. So well, it's something that is best also in nature. So you'll find that there'll be a lot of resistance, especially now, let's say for a young age in high school. Not everybody is thinking about what's next, what do I want to be, what do I want to do, how do I want to do it, all those things. But well, you realize that the resistance is necessary, builds your grit, and then well, it also gives you an understanding of how the haters, the mockers, the people who pull you back are, how they think. Gets you to empathize with them that yes, probably there's something they are going through that's different, but well, you as the person who wants to be different has to go through this resistance. I'll have a full video on the importance of going through these hard times. But then one of the experiences that I had where you can actually be pleasantly surprised is when you find people who think like you, people who talk of progress and think about it. That was when I went for the Model United Nations. I sat down with people who listened attentively, who started speaking also about the things I thought about progress, about the next big thing we're going to do, about transformation of the country and all those things. So it was a really, really nice surprise. So in being different, yes, there will be the haters, there'll be mockers, there'll be resistance. But then if there was no resistance, then everybody would be successful, and clearly it's not the case. If achieving a multifaceted level of success was easy, everybody would do it. So number 5, hope you're still with me. Number 5 in being different is, well, knowing is not enough. There's actually a lot to do. I actually consider us disadvantaged because, well, long time ago it was enough to know a lot of things, to spit out facts and figures, and maybe you would be the epitome of success, so to speak. But well, things just got harder for us. To know is not enough, we must apply. To will is not enough, we must do. That is a paraphrase of a quote from Bruce Lee. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot that needs to be done, and let me tell you that during that time when you're doing so much, there's a lot of effort that is put in, and perhaps people will see just a little being achieved at a time. People may even see maybe a couple of awards and wins here and there, but there's so much to do, and knowing is not enough. Yet knowing is also necessary, you know. The books that you need to read, the background knowledge you need to have, but then also how it is manifested in your actions. So yeah, we're really in a tight spot. We actually have to do so much, and being obsessed in what you're doing is not so much of a bad thing. As by the 10x rule, if you 10x your goals and 10x your effort, well, even if you don't hit that target, you will find that you have gone further than your initial target. And in the words of Elon Musk as well, he did say that figure out how you can do what you're planning to do in 10 years in 6 months. And well, at the end of the 6 months, you may not have actually achieved it, but you go much further than if you had accepted that it would take 10 years. So, to know it's not enough. We have to apply, we have to do, we have to push. And in the stories of the successful people that I've seen in Uganda and even abroad, there is always a point past which there will be an exponential rise in the results of all the things that you've been doing over time. And the thing is consistency. So sometimes you may stop a few feet from the goal. Therefore, we have to just keep doing. Hasn't that been fun? I told you we're in for a ride. So if you've reached this part of the video, chances are you're pretty determined, and determination is all you'll need in this channel with me. So now that we've reached this point, as Johnny English would say, till we meet again, don't forget to like, subscribe, give me a comment down below. Sammy Links, Lynx, Sammy Links is my Instagram handle. Starting out.